It's a pivotal day 3 here at the Armed Forces Men's Soccer Championship. 4 teams, all with a shot to play for the gold here on the final day of pool play. As we welcome you inside the broadcast booth, hi everybody, I'm Alex Gould. Alongside me is U.S. Air Force Captain Kristen Lynn. Appreciate you all joining us today. Beautiful day, 65 degrees here in Oceanside. What a tournament it's been through the first 2 days. Nothing more pivotal than this one for the final day of pool play. All 4 teams, all branches in contention to make the gold medal match. How does that sound?
We didn't expect this. We are on day 3, the final day of regular play, and every team still has a shot at the championship game. We couldn't have scripted it any better.
No, we could not have. As we take a look at the highlights from day 2, first for the Marines and how they got to 1-1, a key victory for the Marines, their first since 2016. 2016 over the Air Force. Taking a look at these highlights here. It was 0-0, 0-0 through 90. One of the best matches we've seen, Kristen, in terms of pace. Back and forth were the Marines and the Air Force, but it wasn't until the 113th minute in the second extra time period, Carlos Vasquez Perez, who was knocking on the door the entire match, was able to finally slip one past the Air Force keeper and Gavin Bryant. The Marines faithful here at Camp Pendleton. What a scene it was. They stormed the field to witness the team's first win since 2016. 2016, and their first win over the Air Force since September of 2010. I mean, that is how important it was for the Marines here at Camp Pendleton, who still have to win this match against Navy and hope that the match between the Air Force and the Army goes their way. But for the Navy, speaking about them, they're now 0-2, but after their 1-0 defeat to the Army, Kristen, they still have something to play for today.
Yes, although Navy lost Friday, the big news for Navy is that Julio Noel with red card is back, and you can't count Navy out just yet. They'll be looking for that win and improve their goal differential in order to move forward.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape and where these two stand. As we talked about, the Marines 1-1. They dropped their first match to the Army 2-1 in the opening match of the tournament. They are even in terms of goal differential. And then the Navy, they're 0-2. They are -2 in terms of goal differential. The Army 2-0. The Air Force now 1-1. But, Kristen, the key thing to look at, and something that Jay Renard told you in the hotel, the Navy still has something to play for today. If they win, okay, let's give scenarios here. If they win, the Air Force loses to the Army, the Navy have a chance to get in. Of course, the Marines want to win and try and solidify their spot. The Army hopes they go 3-0 and get to the gold medal match. The Air Force are the defending champs. Let's take a look at the lineups first today for the Navy. You see it, Jay Renard, their head coach. He's optimistic today. Vogren is in goal for the first time in this tournament. Armando Franco is the left back for the first time. Ian Casace, who played really well off the bench last match, he gets the start. And as you said, Julio Noel is back after having to sit a match for the red card. Taking a look at the Marines lineup. They're in a 4-4-2 today under Rocky Ferdine. What a win it was. Historic for them here at Camp Pendleton. Brock Barbo unable to go. Remember, he got injured last match, so Mark Anthony Cambrone is the keeper for them today. Everything else pretty much similar. Quay gets the start today, did not start last match, but they're in a 4-4-2. Aaron Krantz and Torres up top, but Carlos Vasquez Perez, he's been as lethal as anyone we've seen in this tournament. 65 degrees. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Marines start with it. Jonathan Campa Montenegro. What are you looking for here early in this match?
You know, for today, it's do or die for most of these teams, and so that's really going to reflect in their gameplay and how they start the game. They're going to start fast, they're going to start strong, and they're going to look to get as many goals as well in every game.
So Peter Vogren is in between the pipes today. Keeper change. Lieutenant in the Navy, originally from Peoria, Illinois. He's stationed at Pearl Harbor Hickam. He boots one away here. But so for the Navy, again, as we talked about, they can still get in. Despite starting 0-2, they want chaos. They are the team that wants chaos in this spot. Of course, they have to win. They're going to try and win convincingly, of course, over the Marines because the tiebreaker is goal differential. And right now they are -2. The Air Force and the Marines are both flat even at 0. The Army 2-0 with a +2 goal differential. But that's something else to note. The Army, they're not safe as of yet. The Army wants the Navy to win this match. If the Navy wins this match, the Army is automatically in the gold medal match despite what happens against the Air Force later. That's something that Josh Green was talking about, saying, listen, we can't set our starting 11 yet until we know whether we're in or not. Because if the Marines win, there's still a chance that there could be a three-way tie at 2-1, as Vasquez Perez was right there on the back side of that, but Vogren was able to pick it up.
And you can already see that both coaches here for Air Force and Army are closely watching this game, and that's going to be a big difference on what they're going to do next.
The Air Force, of course, they want the Navy to win as well. Again, they could still get in at 1-2, but they would like to see the Navy win to push the Marines to 1-2. The Navy would be 1-2. That means then if the Air Force beats the Army later, the Air Force and the Army would play again on Tuesday for the gold medal match. First whistle today. Olvin Oliva is the referee. Jacob Little, the AR1. Marcus Moss, the AR2. Jose Lara is the fourth official. Lara was the referee on Friday for the match between the Marines and the Air Force. And Kristen, I've been calling soccer a long time. You played it, you watch it all the time. You know what it's like in terms of passion and the pace and tempo that we saw between those two on Friday. It was excellent.
It really was something special, and nobody wants to be in this situation where everybody is still in the game, but it makes it more exciting for us here at the booth, and you can just feel the excitement around Camp Pendleton, around the hotel, that everybody knows that they have a shot at this. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Julio Noel for Navy is going to be a big difference maker here as he is coming off of fresh legs. He had to sit out last game due to that red card. However, he did say that he sought guidance from his dad, whom he coached him for a very young age, and he feels like he's mentally prepared moving forward to not get caught up with that disciplinary side of the game and help the team as they continue to chase gold.
Absolutely, and Noel, originally from the Trinidad, stationed at USS Essex. He scored the first goal for the Navy against the Air Force in the 16th minute of their first match, but then was sent off with a second yellow card in the 85th minute. And you could see their attack just wasn't quite the same on Friday against the Army in that morning match without him. So you know that Jay Renard and company, they're glad to have him back for this final push of pool play.
And speaking of key players, another one to watch there for the Marines is number 10, Carlos Vasquez Perez. He was the difference maker in the game against Air Force. He has that pace. He's and also newly promoted to sergeant right before last game, and he had his whole team cheering for him from the Combat Logistic Regiment 17, so that was fun to watch.
Chance here for the Navy. Germane Doumbia sends it to Bentley. Bentley tried to keep it in. It is deflected. by Wisnat. This is a corner kick for the Navy. Talked about Olin Oliva, the referee, Jacob Little, the AR1, Marcus Moss, the AR2, and Jose Lara, the fourth official. The refs have done an excellent job. There are pro referees, USL, MLS referees. They've been scouted the entire time by a FIFA evaluator for potential FIFA work. So everyone's been working hard. First corner here on the far side. The left foot. Left foot again, cross. That was over the head of Dan Redden. And it'll be a goal kick here for Cambronne.
And we saw in the last game, the Marine Corps and Air Force, that one of the key difference makers was winning those 50-50 balls in the air from Marine Corps Wisnat. And so I think that is going to also be crucial here, as we've seen a good amount of set pieces, and we are going to see a good amount of those later on in the game, and that's going to be a big difference maker for the Marines.
Also speaking about the Marines, and this man right here, and Mark Anthony Cambronne, the sergeant, originally from San Bernardino, California. He's stationed right here at Camp Pendleton. Had a good ball there from Bentley, but Mark Anthony Cambronne, remember, he had to come on. When Brock Barbeau went down, there was a collision inside the penalty area, so Barbeau had to be subbed off, and so Cambronne gets the start today. He was excellent, though, in about the 15 to 20 minutes he came into the match for, maybe even longer than that. It was right at the end of regulation. Barbeau unable to go. Both teams trying to win the 50-50s right now, and it's a foul on Jonathan Campomontenegro. Free kick for Navy in the center circle.
And we talked about how big of a difference those 2 yellow cards made in that game against Air Force, but he's not the only one in yellow card trouble. A lot of these players also are playing this game on a yellow card, and if they get another one, that could hurt them in the championship as well.
And you're seeing the coaches be strategic about it. A lot of those players, especially if the Marines, are not playing to start this game. Javier Aguila has a yellow, Laverick Mola with the yellow, Victor Flores with the yellow. They're all not starting this match. Randall McDermott is playing with a yellow card, and so is Carlos Vasquez Perez, their hero from game 2. Quay headed away by Redden. But the Marine Corps, they got to celebrate in front of that 1998 championship team, the last time they won the gold medal. Those guys were even storming the field. I mean, it was a big deal to witness that win. And as I talked about in the Open, it was their first win in the tournament in general since May 13th of 2016. Out wide, Torres left foot over the bar, and it'll be a goal kick. But it ended a 13-match losing streak that spanned 2,520 days, which is 6 years, 10 months, and 25 days between wins. It was their first win for the Marines over the Air Force since 2010 in the consolation match. And a fun fact for you that was told to us by Derek Wayan, who's one of the head coaches of the Air Force women's team and also one of the head coaches of the Armed Forces women's national team. He said that Rocky Ferdine was the keeper for the Marines the last time they beat the Air Force in 2010. So Ferdine, a part of history here as he's taken over this team and this program as their head coach, and what a win it was.
That's a fun fact there, and I know that you could feel the excitement, and you can feel all those days worth of wanting that win, and they came out hungry, and they just outplayed Air Force and got it done.
The last time that the Marines made a gold medal match, it was back in 1999. So they're trying to get back to the gold medal match for the first time in 24 years. The Navy, of course, they played. This will be a corner for the Marines on the far side. Their first of the match. The Navy played for the gold medal last year at MacDill Air Force Base. They wound up losing to the Air Force 4-0. But the Navy as well, they have not won since 2003. So they're trying to sneak in, find a way to win this match. Who knows, because of goal differential, they could get in. Right now, they're trying to stop this corner from Jonathan Campamontenegro on the far side. Campamontenegro, good one. Who was it last off of? It was last touched by the Marines. Looked like Gio Castro maybe was the last to head it away. Maney goes down. Whistle blows, foul called. And that's something to note. Carlos Vasquez Perez there gets called for the foul. He cannot afford to get a yellow card in this match. Of course, it's do or die. They want to win this match and try and get to that gold medal match. But if Carlos Vasquez Perez picks up a yellow in this match, he has to sit out for either the consolation match or the gold on Tuesday.
He does have to be careful there, and the referee keeps that in mind. Every little foul that happens also takes into consideration for anything big.
Armando Franco. Good ball, almost into the back of the net. Cambrone somehow got the right hand on it. That would have been one of the goals of the century if this went in.
Not a single person touched that ball, and I think everybody was expecting the person behind him to get there, and that just caught the keeper off guard.
That was about 30 to 35 yards out, and Cambrone at the last second, because he was kind of blocked by everyone. The scrum inside the 6. Low liner. The Navy looking for their first, headed away for now. Jonathan Campamontenegro on the far side, now trying to lead the counter. Brandon Torres takes a tumble. And we'll see, was a foul called or is it a throw and a foul called on the far side. But wow, what a save by Mark Anthony Cambrone. We were just talking about him, saying he did an excellent job coming in for Brock Barbeau, who got injured about 5 minutes at the end of regulation. This will be a goal kick here for Vogren. Wow, what a setup there. And Maney, I think, was trying to redirect it on that free kick and set piece by Franco. But also, I think maybe he figured, if I don't get a touch on this, if I can screen the keeper and Cambrone, he may not have a chance to stop this. And somehow he's able to save it. So last touch by Ian Kisache. Throw in right by the corner flag. Torres will take it. Nobody near him, so he's trying to get it inside the 18. He does. Off the head, pings off the post, but a foul was called. The goal will be disallowed. Wow. So I believe a foul was called. Take a look. About that. 16th minute. Header off the post. The Marines have met the post 3 different times now in this tournament. But then before Castro could rifle one into the back of the net, past Vogren, a foul was called, disallowing the goal.
This is already a pretty back and forth match. No one team is really controlling possession or the opportunity, so it's going to be an exciting one.
Bentley looking for Noel, playing for his first time since he got the red card in the opening match. Good ball here. Could be a right foot rocket. It is wide of the mark by Brandon Buendia. He's still trying to connect for his first time here in 2023. He gets a ripe chance there, but couldn't quite get the angle.
And that was a good layoff there by Bane Bentley just to set him up for that. And what a good opportunity for Navy.
So Buendia just misses wide. Tell you what, Mark-Anthony Cambrone trying to get his money's worth here as the keeper. I think he'd like the ball to stay on their attacking third for a little while. The Marines now twice have breathed a couple of different sighs of relief. And also, on the flip side, you take a look at that last header for the Marines by Gio Castro that pinged off the post, the Navy as well.
And another thing to consider is that the Marines went to that double overtime last game with the Air Force, and I know that's going to be taking a toll on their legs as we saw many go down in those overtime periods time after time. So that's going to be something that Navy is going to want to exploit.
So Franco took the last one. But I think they like the left-footed Noel here instead. Remember, Franco's last one right around this spot, but on the near side, almost got past Cambrone into the back of the net. One of the most wondrous goals you'll ever see.
There's a lot of contact there in the box before the ball is even kicked that the ref is trying to resolve there.
Two-man wall here for the Marines. Nineteenth minute. Ovin Oliva. Noel, left foot. Cambrone on the fly.
There's an easy save there for the keeper as Marines try to play it fast and get some offense going.
Brandon McDermott just trying to boot it down the pitch, get it onto the attacking third, at least the attacking half for the Marines. Buendia with a back heel. Another foul, this time on Adam Quay.
They have to be careful about those fouls. They keep committing them in the same location, and we saw that Navy can be dangerous from that spot, so they need to be careful.
So Noel, who just took one about 60 seconds ago, right around this spot, might be 4 yards closer here on the far side. Noel, left foot. That was, couldn't tell whether that was headed by a member of the Marines or headed by a member of Navy, but nonetheless, Cambrone's got it. The Navy have controlled here. Buendia out wide. Nando Manrique. Manrique right foot cross. Cleared away by Wisna.
The Navy is doing a good job winning that ball in the center of the field, and that's really contributing to them being able to hold on to it and keep possession.
Player for the Marines goes down. We've seen a lot of fouls so far. This physicality here, Kristen, reminds me of the first match of the tournament between the Marines and Army.
Yes, that first match we had quite a few yellow cards. I know we talked about how each team is going to be pretty cautious there so that they don't get into yellow card trouble, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be a physical game.
And at the same time, too, I think an argument could be made, right? You got to go all out here. Right? So it's not like you can keep some of those players out for too long. As Ariel Reyes goes down now, Navy can't believe it. Another foul called.
That looked like a hard hit there.
So Jonathan Campomontenegro. McDermott's out wide if he wants it. Instead, he's looking for the penalty area. Off the head of Carlos Vasquez Perez. Cleared away for now. Not a great touch on the ball there by Casillas. That was dangerous.
And Bane Bentley, he proved in the other matches that his speed and ability to put the defense under pressure and make mistakes is going to be good for Navy.
McDermott stopping on a dime. Look at these moves here from McDermott. Right foot is on the ground, and he's a little bit frustrated with himself. Wanted to get that thing in the air. The Marines will have a throw in here. So as far as the records go, from the database that we have, this tournament started back in 1981 over at Fort Gordon in Georgia. This tournament's now in its 42nd year. It could even be a little bit longer than that, but we date it back to 1981. Another foul called, a lot of whistles. 42nd year. It's just continued to pick up steam the last decade or so. These guys just love being out here. Get a little break to come out here and play some soccer. Something they've grown up playing, love to do. Get the chance to try and play for bragging rights, but play for a gold medal. Bentley may have had Chandum there out wide, elected not to play it to him. Instead, they'll play here on the near side. Buendia. Buendia, who scored 3 last year. Maney. Here's Bane Bentley. Pinged it off Wisnat. It'll be a throw-in. Maney goes quickly. Aaron Krantz, who scored the first goal for the Marines in that 2-1 defeat to the Army. Chandum, who likes to dribble as the right back. Maybe too much.
Yeah, I was going to say a little bit too much dribbling there. That killed the momentum for Navy in the center of the field. That's not where you want to give up the ball.
Good ball by Torres. Vasquez Perez, he's got the speed. Redden. Vasquez Perez looking for a teammate. Right foot try is wide of the mark. Oh, what a ball by Vasquez Perez. Found Gio Castro all alone inside the 18.
And Castro, like you said, was completely unmarked. That's not something that Navy wants to see or continue doing, because that is going to be dangerous for the Marines.
If you're the Navy there, what do you change defensively on that last play?
You've really got to man mark him in the center. He's coming out with that speed, and we've seen that number 10 for the Marine Corps is crucial in the lead up and build up of all their opportunities. So you really have to make sure you're man marking.
Now, Carlos Vasquez Perez, who of course scored the game winner, looked up to the sky a bunch of times during that match and, and said finally, in a plethora of opportunities, he met the post once, just missed over the bar another time, and finally found the back of the net. He was trying to set up the first here by Gio Castro, and Castro on a one-time. And it's another one of those situations, as you see another foul there, it's another one of those situations where I'll ask you, Kristen, Castro was all alone. There was nobody there. Do you like the one-time effort by him, or would you like to have seen him control it for a second there and pick a target and pick a spot and to try and get it past the keeper and Vogler?
It looked like he was trying to be a little bit fancy with that volley. I think he had the time to take a touch if it wasn't on the right foot that he wanted it to be on. And so I think he should have taken the touch there and got a little bit better of a shot.
Another foul could get a card. Dan Redden was a little bit late there on the tackle. So Redden gets a yellow card. That is his first of the tournament. Could be another golden chance here for Jonathan Campamontenegro. Just outside the penalty area. Kristen, he could try one on frame here if he wants to test Vogren. But this angle's kind of tough.
This angle is tough, and I think he's going to elect to go with that back post service for this one, especially with how strong Wisnat is in the air.
So you're looking for number 18, Steven Wisnat. That's who they've tried to target, the lengthiest player on the pitch for the Marines. Jonathan Campamontenegro, he's looking for him. It was over everyone's head. It will be a Navy throw-in. So you called it, partner. Great call by you, but a little bit too far out of reach for the head of Wisnat. I wanted to go back to what we were talking about. Gio Castro, he said maybe being a little bit too fancy, and maybe he was. But also, too, I think any argument could always be made that he's not sure if there's a trailing defender, right? Maybe he thinks there's a defender about 5 yards out, where if I don't one-time it here and try and control the ball for a second, it could be booted away. And so we always like to play devil's advocate and look at all sides. But nonetheless, still 0-0 here in the 29th minute. Navy trying to strike first, but a foul call.
All these fouls are really stopping the flow of the game, and neither team is able to really possess it and build up with foul after foul.
And that's what's tough about it for a referee, right? From Oven Oliva's perspective, he's sitting there thinking, listen, I want there to be flow in this game. I want there to be pace and pressure on both sides. But at the same time, a foul is a foul, right?
At the end of the day, his job is to protect the players. So if somebody goes in harder than they need to, he's going to be calling that foul.
Campamontenegro, good service out wide. McDermott, Torres was trying to make a move, intercepted by Franco. Good takeaway there by Campamontenegro. Torres tried to get it out wide, deflected nicely by Manrique. We've seen some of the best defense in this tournament by strikers and attacking mids in their own offensive third, their own attacking third. Wisnat with a slide tackle. He's on the ground still. He's got to try and get back here. Buendia out wide. That was Wisnat's position. Maney shot deflected by Gio Castro.
And that was a missed opportunity there by Castro. He had a 3v3 situation, and that you don't want to hold that too long.
Carlos Vasquez Perez was looking for Krantz. That one a little bit too much on it. You could hear Vogren after he rolled that ball over to Manrique saying, control the middle. He wants to see the Navy do a little bit better job of controlling the middle of the pitch.
And speaking of Vogren, number 0 goalkeeper for Navy, he actually has an interesting story here. He raced and completed the Honolulu Marathon in 2022. And not only that, he plays guitar and has submitted 55 different 14,000 feet mountain peaks. So that's a pretty impressive feat there for Vogren.
Sounds like he does everything.
Sounds like it.
That resume's got to be pretty wild.
He's also a physical therapist, so in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, so that's not a bad life he lives in.
Yeah. Sounds like a good life to me. And he gets the job of playing the stopper as the keeper today for the Navy. And somehow, some way, though, the Navy, they want to see a goal scored. Remember, a win for them is great, of course, because it could get them into the gold medal match, but let's play a hypothetical scenario here. Still plenty of time, 32nd minute, approaching the 33rd. But if this thing goes 0-0 throughout, even through extra time, remember the Navy's going to stay at that -2 goal differential, and that's going to be unlikely to get them in, as that was dangerous there. This will be a Navy corner on the near side, but they want goals to be scored in this match for themselves to come away with the win. They do not want to win in PKs.
And that goes for every team for today, Alex, that every team needs goals and they need to prevent goals as well. So they're not going to be playing it safe, and they're going to be going for the gold.
Well, they're going for a goal right now. Maney, right foot, and that's an own goal. Are you kidding me? Jonathan Campomontenegro helps out the Navy. Speaking of goals, the Navy get one there. Campomontenegro couldn't turn the head in time to clear, and Maney saying, we'll take it, 1-0 Navy.
Wow, that's something that we weren't expecting there. Poor body position there by the defender. You don't want to be heading the ball as your body is facing your own goal.
Wow. You do not see a lot of own goals, and when you do, sometimes maybe deflections that ricochet into the back of the net. But Jonathan Campomontenegro, as you said perfectly, just did not turn the body. Didn't get the head around to clear that away. And now the Navy, they're trying to strike for 2 potentially here. They've got some momentum. Noel goes down. This will be a set piece right around the 20-yard line.
And you can just see all of the Navy, especially their bench, you know, that goal really fired them up, and they're here for more.
Oh, well, can he set up a second here in the blink of an eye? Trying to. Gets by everyone. Campomontenegro didn't have to make a save. And it's going to be another corner, just like the one here we saw about 90 seconds ago. This is a great ball by Noel.
That is a great ball there, but they had 2 shots at the goal and both miss it. So I know that they're going to want to put this corner kick in the back of the net.
So Maney, who just took one. Jonathan Campomontenegro, an own goal for the Marines. They're looking for a second, punched away by Cambrone. Good decisive play by him there.
That was great goalkeeping, making sure that he punches that out to the outside of the goal, clearing it, and that is what the Marine Corps needed. They needed to get it off their half. And it looks like the Marine Corps is actually looking to sub here in the first half, trying to gain back that momentum after the goal.
So remember, the Marines, they could still get into that gold medal match even if they lose here to the Navy. But now when you look at it here, Kristen, the Marines are now -1 on goal differential. The Navy move up there to -1 as well, coming into this match at -2. That's something we're looking for here. And then the tiebreaker after that, if something were to occur, would be goals for. And guess what? The Marines have scored 2, and now the Navy have scored 2 in this tournament.
And the Marine just made their substitution there. And so that is going to be crucial for them to get back into the game and get those fresh legs out there, because like we said, they went last game to double overtime, which is a disadvantage here for today.
Boy, that's a tough one for Jonathan Campa Montenegro. Gets the own goal. Rocky Ferdinand pulls him out of the match. Omar Esquivel is on. Quay trying to keep this attack alive. Last off of the Marines, it'll be a goal kick. So I'm looking at the tiebreak policy here, because I'm a dork, and I'm trying to see if it ends in terms of goal differential and then goals for. What's the next one up? There's nothing listed. So there can't be 3 teams or 4 teams playing in the gold medal match. So we'd have to ask and see what the next tiebreaker is in terms of who gets to the gold medal match and who does not.
I know no team really wants to find out, I think. I think they want to keep that in their control.
Could be goals allowed. That would just seem to me would be the next obvious one after goals for. And if you're looking at goals allowed, well, guess what? The Marines have allowed 3, and so have the Navy. Could run the obstacle course over there to determine who gets to the gold medal match. I'm not sure. But Randall McDermott going to throw it in here. 39th minute coming up.
It looks like Navy had to send number 24, Dan Redden, off the field for a tape job or something of that nature. And he's a big presence there for Navy, so we're waiting for his return.
Getting that right arm looked at. So the Marines playing up a man right now, and you got to think they're going to try and push as much as they can while Redden's out. It's a key member of the back line for them. Their center back here. For the Marines here, you want to play with tempo.
And we saw there that they wanted that quick restart, which is something that they wanted to do, is with a man up, and the referee just prevented it there.
Wisnat finds Carlos Vasquez-Perez. That was dangerous. Carlos Vasquez-Perez takes a tumble. Chandum trying to clear it away, and finally does. Nice play there by the right back. As Redden treks back on. Dangerous there from Wisnat, who had Maney right on his back shoulder. Maney, boy, that was dangerous from Cambron, the keeper. If Maney gets a foot on that, could be 2-0. Good ball there by Doumbia. Noel goes down. Another free kick. So Buendia here. Move it back to about the 31, 32 yard line on his football field. This is too far here for him to go for goal.
Yes, I don't think he's going to be going for goal on this one. And you see that they're not all stacked on the back post either. They're going to look to open up that service and get those runs in the middle.
Buendia wants to put one on frame, and he's going to try to. And boy, that thing was sailed. The field goal's good, but that's not what he was looking for. And you're surprised by that?
Yes, I don't think that was the right decision. Not something that I would have done, especially with 4 minutes going into halftime. There's a big difference going in half, 2 up than 1 up. And so I think that was a missed opportunity there by Navy.
And I agree with you. Whatever that's worth.
Thanks for that confidence boost.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. All right, 42nd minute here. Hasn't been a whole lot of there's been a lot of whistles, but there's been a whole lot of stoppages in terms of player injuries. So we'll see how much gets added in a couple of minutes. You've been pretty spot on in guessing these, I got to tell you. Your stoppage time radar is pretty good. Bentley trying to bend in a second one. Bentley, left foot, quad off the head.
Wow.
Oh, what a service by Bain Bentley. And who else but Julio Noel, after he had to sit a match because of the double yellow that led to the red. He is back in a big way. Bentley to Noel. Navy leads 2-0.
That was just beautiful. You couldn't ask for a more perfect goal than that. And you can just see the excitement, the redemption there from Julio Noel for Navy. And they can be more excited going to half with that 2-0 lead.
How many goals have we seen in this tournament before the closing stages of the half? And that was maybe the best setup all tournament long. I mean, Bentley with the left foot. One of the best crosses you'll see. And Noel making the run to the back post on the far side. And now the Navy with some momentum, trying to add a third before the half. 2 players collide yet again. And Olvin Oliva is going to stop play, and he has a card out. Someone's getting a yellow card here.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard hit there. But it was hard to see who he's going to go for that yellow card.
I'm thinking it's going to be on Bentley, but I'm not sure.
Both players hurting after that one.
So Bain Bentley picks up the yellow. That's his first yellow of the tournament. I just said there haven't been a lot of stoppages because of injuries, and you get one here. Looks like maybe Abraham Casillas, it's down. So Casillas down after the Marines get their first win since 2016. All of a sudden, things have not been going the right way here in the first half against the Navy. Casillas is down, and they're looking at the right leg.
And here's a replay of that last goal.
So Casillas, not a great sign. Can't put any pressure on that right leg. Abraham Casillas, who is stationed in Camp Foster in Japan. Corporal has to be helped off. He's not putting any pressure on that right leg.
And they just put up 4 minutes of stoppage time here before the half. The referee just signaled 4 minutes.
Casillas may get subbed out here. Now the left leg is being worked on, so both legs hurting for Casillas.
And here's another look at that goal.
You can see there, Kristen, Quay just didn't track Noel. And that's a guy you have got to man mark. And he just didn't stay on his shoulder or his hips at all.
Yes, and it was a beautiful goal.
Great service by Bentley.
And it doesn't look like the Marine is actually going to sub him out. They may just play that 4 minutes a man down there.
Does look like maybe they subbed the player on, though, the Marines. I believe Javier Aguila looks like he's taken over as the center back. Yeah, he's on, so they're playing with 11 right now. Casillas' day is done. Tough break for him after the injury. Buendia, Chandu from the right back position, couldn't get there.
It is good to see, though, as you can see in the frame there, that he is up and walking on his own. That is something that we up here at the booth love to see, because we don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Absolutely. Good to see him walking it off. But Javier Aguila, who picked up a yellow card last match, he's now playing. But at this point, if this is the final score, the Marines would not make it to the gold medal match. This score cannot end this way for them. The Navy, of course, would love it. And then they got to hope that the Army beat the Air Force for a chance to get in. Because right now, as it stands, the Navy are back to even on goal differential, and almost a third saved by Cambrone, and then he got helped out by the post.
It looks like that back line for the Marine Corps is just not marking very well right now, leaving those players wide open.
And you talked about it with the Air Force after playing 116 minutes, then 113 plus minutes. So you saw Maney with a back heel, and then Bentley lasered one in with the left foot. Bentley slips past Wisna. Bentley right foot trying to set up another one. Buendia wide of the mark. Bane Bentley. I mean, he's bending them like Beckham right now.
And Navy really has the Marine Corps on their heels right now, and the Marines are just hoping to get to halftime with that 2-0 lead right now.
Boy, Bentley, ambidextrous. I mean, this man can do it with the left foot, trying to set up. That time, Buendia with the right foot. Almost got his second assist of the match. Right now, the Marines just need the whistle to blow for halftime to try and regroup. Franco here on the near side. Maney. Deflection. You throw in. So we've hit right about that 4 minute mark of added time in this first half. Ovenoliva going to allow the Navy to have one last attempt here, one last attack. Gio Castro with a lot of space. The Marines understanding that the whistle was near here. Ariel Reyes, Carlos Vasquez Perez. Navy wants a handball. Vasquez Perez turning and firing is saved by Vogren. And then finally clearing are the Navy, but a foul is called on Carlos Vasquez Perez, who can't believe it.
And here's another look at that play right there. That was definitely a foul. Two-hand push in the back there. You can't do that.
We were talking about Peter Vogren earlier. He gets his first start of the tournament, making the most of it. Not even sure how he saw Carlos Vasquez Perez, who had about 3 Navy defenders on him. He just turned and fired. Peter Vogren, you can call him Mr. Mustache, makes a big-time save. And there is the whistle. What a first half for the Navy. They still have gold medal in mind. And if the score stands, Kristen, 2-0, they could be looking at that. Of course, still going to need some help from the Army to beat the Air Force. But right now, the Navy on top 2-0. They are even. As a reminder, they're even on the goal differential. And the Marines are now -2. What a first half for the Navy.
Yeah, you saw Navy's energy just get higher and higher as they scored 1 goal and then again with that second goal. And that was really the difference that Julio Noel had coming back from that red card for a little bit of redemption there in that half. And that was a great half there by Navy.
An own goal by Jonathan Campa Montenegro got the scoring started on the Alex Maney corner. And then a goal by Noel, who was set up beautifully by Bane Bentley. 2-0 at the break. We'll see you for the second half. Or for the Marines. Back here at Camp Pendleton, 2-0 in favor of the Navy, who still have sights on the gold medal match. Alex Gould, U.S. Air Force Captain Kristen Lynn, and our second audio-visual crew based at a Hill Air Force Base in Layton, Utah. Appreciate you joining us here for this second half. All right, partner, if the score ended like this, the Marine Corps would automatically be out. They could not advance to the gold medal match because of goal differential. Right now, the Navy is at 0, so they're back to 0 at even because they have allowed 3 goals and now scored 3 goals, and then the Marine Corps is at -2, so 2 under. But if the Marine Corps can even get 1 goal here, Kristen, even if they lose 2-1, of course, they're still hoping that the Army beat the Air Force for the tiebreaker and to get into a 3-way tie. They could have a chance to make the gold medal match because then if they score 1 here, they go from -2 to -1. Navy would drop from 0 to -1. That's where we stand. So you could see at some point here in the second half, seriously, an all-out attack by the Marines.
Yes, and I know that they're going to keep it pretty simple here. Score as many goals as possible and prevent any goals from going in. That's it for the Marine Corps. And they're going to be pressuring hard and looking to score as early as possible.
You see Sergeant Gio Castro here trying to make a move on Chandum. Gio Castro, right foot cross. That does not find the leg of Carlos Vasquez Perez, but a good start for the Marines, trying to put the pressure on the back line and on the keeper and Vogren. Oven Oliva gets a ball off the shin there. Of course, if it deflects off in, oftentimes it's in. He's not going to blow the whistle unless it stops an advantage. Nobody right now a bigger fan of the Navy than the Army. Who would have thought we'd say that, just in terms of rivalries when it comes to this tournament, because if the Navy wind up winning this match, the Army, they can rest whoever they want, if they want to. In the next match against the Air Force, the Army would automatically be in playing for the gold medal for the first time in a couple of years. Did not make it last year, but they did win it all in 2019. For the Air Force, I had said earlier that you could look at it either way, because either way they could find themselves in a 3-way tie, but the Air Force could have been rooting for the Marines, right, to where then if the Air Force beat the Army, they could get in, but also, you know, you got to think about it, they're also potentially rooting for the Navy in this spot, because then the Army may rest some of their starters, and the Air Force could potentially have an easier chance to win that match against the Army. Because if the Navy wins this match, if the Air Force beat the Army, they are in, and they would play a rematch against the Army on Tuesday for the gold medal.
We have a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on. And these guys are going to decide it on the pitch. Azimlo Wardak, by the way, he was subbed in at half for Ariel Reyes. So you see Brandon Torres on the far flank. Torres looking for a teammate. Torres bending one in, and Vogren with another diving stop. If he doesn't stop that, Vasquez Perez was back post and looking for a potential goal to bring them within 1. Buendia. Foul call. This will be a set piece and a free kick here. Pretty good spot over on the far side for the Navy. See if it's Noel who takes it. Maney going to take it instead. Off the head of Bentley. Full kick. Sometimes, Kristen, an emotional win can be a great thing, of course. You ride that momentum wave into your next match. But a lot of times, too, of course, it was 113 minutes that the Marines had to play until they beat the Air Force, got revenge from last year. First time since 2010 they beat the Air Force. But sometimes it can drain you, right? It can drain those emotions. And do you think we've seen a little of that here today?
I think we have, and this game in the second half, we expected it to speed up, but right now it's kind of...
Right foot, crossed in, headed away. Quay. Not a good ball there. No, that was Noel with the right foot. Julio Noel grew up in the Trinidad and Tobago. He moved to the States in 2011, the age of 18. And he played as a professional in the Trinidad and Tobago Pro League. Signed his first contract at the age of 16. Played in the Pro League for 11 years. We've seen the skill. I think everyone was kind of robbed of seeing the skill last match because he had to sit out with the 2 yellows. You talked about his dad being inspiration to come back out here and make a difference, and he has. Chandum, the outside, loves to dribble. Chandum, finally Cambrone with the diving stop.
And the Marines are just giving the ball up in the middle of the field, and not enough has been said or credit been given to number 8
What a move by Noel.
For Navy, and that is Alex Maney. He, as team captain, is really controlling the center of the field there, and he is that voice for Navy, and here he is going to be taking this free kick.
So 28 yards out here. 10 yards outside the penalty area. Is it going to be Maney, like you were talking about? Noel, trio of guys here. Could be Buendia. Buendia gives way. We'll see. Is it going to be Noel with the left or Maney with the right? 5-man wall. Maney playing it short. Intercepted nicely by Wardak.
That was great defensive play there by Wardak, but he needs to hold on to that ball.
As Castro boots one down, here's Carlos Vasquez-Perez. Vasquez-Perez trying to cross run to Torres, but not enough with the left foot. Had a great ball there from the Navy. Esquivel, right foot rocket by Krantz, deflected by Franco. Marines trying to get back. Foul call. Noel, left foot, good ball off the head of Redden. Boy, what a service. That time by Noel.
That was a great service there to the back post, and Redden was able to get ahead on it. You won a session by playing it out wide and keeping control.
And right as you were talking about it, though, they lost possession. Now Gio Castro trying to retain possession. Castro not quite enough. Vasquez Perez goes down, though. I'm not sure. It was tough to see, and Casace can't believe the call as he closed out Carlos Vasquez Perez.
It almost looked there as if he was defending himself from that hit before it happened. But that is a good spot there for the Marine Corps. Good opportunity for them to get back into the game.
And I'm assuming that was Casace who got the yellow. I'm not sure if Casace gets the yellow there, Kristen, for the foul or for arguing after the foul. But nonetheless, looked like Casace picked up a yellow there. Now if you're Carlos Vasquez Perez, do you have an angle here, Kristen? If you're him, do you try and test Vogren or try and serve one in?
I think he's going to go for it. He's proven to be strong on finishing those goals, and I think he's going to go for the shot here.
Four-man wall for the Navy. That four-man wall in unison, being backed up by Oliva, the referee. Carlos Vasquez Perez, he was the hero last match against the Air Force. What does he have in store here in the 58th minute? Right foot try, bending one. It missed wide of the mark, but it was deflected and saved by Vogren.
And he goes near post here as we rewatch this free kick. And that deflection could have been the difference there.
Boy, how good has Vogren been? He's like a vacuum in between the pipes. Wow. Peter Vogren has been really impressive. Does lead to a Marines corner here. Chris Feisen checked in, part of the back line. Right foot. Vogren tried to punch it away. Adam Quay on the back side of the play, and it will be a throw-in on the far side. So Esquivel, that was a pretty good service there on the corner, Kristen. Just a little bit too much. Wisnat to throw it in. Inside the penalty area. Vasquez Perez yet again looking for a teammate. Castro, right foot, ricochet.
I think Castro mishit it there.
Yeah, Castro didn't quite get enough on it. Krantz off the head. Carlos Vasquez Perez, flag goes up. Offside is the call. And I think you could have called it on 2 or 3 different players for the Marines.
And that's what I was going to say. They just didn't do a good job recovering after that last opportunity, and it looked like 2 or 3 of them were offsides.
Still plenty of time in this match, and the Marines have done a much better job making second half adjustments, if you will, coming into this second half. But so far, the Navy have held serve. 2-0, 60th minute. The Marines don't just want to say that they beat the Air Force for the first time since 2010. They want to make the gold medal match. Cross on the ground. It was deflected, so it's a Marines throw-in.
And they're having a hard time there, the outside backs for Navy, controlling the speed of the Marine Corps down the line, and that is something that they have exposed a few times, and that's going to hurt the Navy.
Minute by minute, the crowd here at Camp Pendleton, who are rooting for the Marines, of course, they grow a little bit more uncomfortable. This will be Torres to take the throw-in. Inside the penalty area, bicycle attempt, right foot rocket, it was pinged off the post. That's the 4th time in this tournament that the Marines, they just can't catch a break.
And you see here the long throw that's keeping them in the game. It's giving them those opportunities in the box, and it's almost being treated like a corner kick there for the Marine Corps.
Oh my goodness. The Marines just keep saying, much like they did against the Air Force, what do we have to do to score? The 2nd time that they've met the post is Redden swung and missed on the first, but nobody was there. And I wouldn't say the Navy dominated the first half. Navy outplayed the Marines for sure in that first half, especially the final 20 minutes or so. But so far in this second half, it's been a different story.
And you can never count the Marines out. I think that's something we learned last game against the Air Force. Never count them out because they have that tenacity to come back and score those late goals.
Marines faithful disagreeing with the call by Olvin Oliva.
And it looks like both teams are warming up subs, and I think that's going to be the difference maker here in the second half. Both teams have players that have played well over the regulated time, and so I know that they're going to be looking at those crucial subs.
Navy trying to ice this game away and put in a third. Foul called just outside the penalty area. That's maybe a couple of feet here.
And that's not a foul that Marine Corps wants to give up here to the Navy. I'm surprised that there's not another card pulled for here.
Buendia went down, and that was Quay. Knocked him to the turf. All right, is it Noel with the left foot? Is it Alex Maney with the right foot? It's a 5-man wall for the Marine Corps. Maney, right foot, pings off the crossbar. That thing was crunched off the crossbar from Maney.
And that was just a good service there by Navy. And the Marine Corps cannot afford to keep committing those fouls there in that location.
Dangerous by the Marines, and nobody breathing a sigh of relief more right now than this Marine Corps fan base. Maverick Mullah is into the match. Coming out is Aaron Krantz. And then also Victor Flores checking in, Adam Quay out. And we talked about it. These are two players who had a yellow card previously in the tournament. As a reminder, if you pick up 2 yellows at any point in the tournament, you have to sit out the next match. But at this point, you got to play everyone. The Marines need a goal to have a chance to make the gold medal match.
And that's right. They're not going to be taking any chances here. The subs with fresh legs are really going to be a difference maker for the Marine Corps. Germane Doumbia.
Omar Chandum. Chandum They said he kept it in. Boy, that looked to be well past the end line, well past the touch line there, and no indication. Navy will take it. Castro serves one down. Last touch by Carlos Vasquez-Perez on that left shoulder. In case you're just joining us, Alex Maney was a corner about the 25th minute or so. That was an own goal by Jonathan Campa-Montenegro of the Marines. And then in the 42nd minute, Bane Bentley crossed one in to the 18, and heading one home was Julio Noel. His second goal of the tournament gave Navy a 2-0 advantage heading into halftime, and that is where we stand here in the 67th minute. If this score holds, the Marines cannot advance to the gold medal match because of goal differential. The Marine Corps are -2, the Navy's at 0, the Air Force at 0. The Army, of course, 2-0. The Marine Corps, though, if they can get a goal, they have a chance to get in to that gold medal match, because then, think about it, they would be -1 on goal differential. The Navy would be -1. Both teams would be 1-2 overall. But then, of course, it would depend what happens in that Army Air Force match coming up at approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. The Air Force, then in that scenario, per se, if the Navy wins, if the Air Force wins that match against the Army, then the Army would play the Air Force for a second straight match on Tuesday for the gold medal. Chandu, service. Marines trying to clear. Another foul called. Marines can't believe it. And Rocky Ferdine is going crazy on the sideline. This is the most animated we've seen. What do you think here, Kristen? Was that a foul?
I do think there was a foul there, but I don't think it's being called evenly both ways, and I think that's where the frustration comes. Navy is also committing those fouls and not getting the call, so I think that all Rocky wants is it to be called both ways.
He has to walk away from the sideline over there. He cannot believe it. He knows what's at stake here. He knows what's at stake. He knows that this team has the heart. That this team, this Marine Corps team, could make it to the gold medal match. On the flip side, Jay Renard started 0-2, stopped you in the hotel and said, don't count us out. Coming for vengeance here on Sunday. Have the chance to try and make the gold medal match if the Army can defeat the Air Force. And a yellow card has been given to Rocky Ferdine for arguing. Jose Lara, the fourth official, indicated to Olvin Oliva that he deserved a yellow card. Right now, Rocky Ferdine doesn't care about the yellow. He just wants to see it called both ways, like you said. "28 yards out from goal. Maney, who crunched one off the crossbar on the last attempt. Will he take another one here? He will. Diving save by Cambrone.
And Maney goes down after that service there, clenching his leg immediately. See if he got hurt here.
He's grabbing the hamstring.
It looks like he planted wrong right after he took that hit. And the whole training staff is out there now for Maney. And it just looked like he planted wrong right after he took that hit and instantly grabbed his leg there. That's not something you want to see.
Brad Pausick, as well as Oscar Oliveras, the two medical trainers for the Navy. Take a look at the fans enjoying a gorgeous Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, by the way, to everyone out there. Right now, the Marine Corps trying to get up something to cheer for here. The closing stages of the final match for them of pool play.
And you talked a little bit about the coaching staff here for Navy, and the local San Diego coaching staff includes OIC Luis Zamora, assistant coach David Rowe, and assistant coach Will Sprouse, who also took part in the San Diego tryouts that they had with Coach Jay Renard. So the coaching staff for this year's team has been together since February 28th, which is a good amount of time here for the tournament.
So Maney being helped off, not something you want to see if you're the Navy. One of their critical players here goes down, and looks like the trainers are asking Jay Renard for a sub here. Having trouble putting weight on that right foot.
And if they do go for the sub, that's a big loss there for Navy, as we saw that he has been crucial in every free kick that they've had and really has made it dangerous for Navy.
Right away after that free kick attempt, you talked about it, but he grabbed that right hamstring. Looks like the Navy are going to sub here. They will. So Maney is out. That's a key loss for the Navy. He is out. Player coming onto the pitch is Andrew Grossman, who started the last two matches. Lieutenant comes in. And Jay Renard thinking in this spot, they know what's at stake. They're going to put in more members of the back line. Noel, can he set up a third and ice this match away? Off the head of Redden, pinged around, right foot in the air. It is finally cleared away by the Marine Corps.
The Marines are getting a lot of set pieces here, and each time getting closer and closer, and the last thing the Marine Corps wants is to go down 3-0.
The Army know that if the Navy win this match, the Army are into the gold medal match. 74th minute. Noel inside the 18, cleared away. Gila got it out of there. Noel looking for a teammate, Manrique, one of the team captains. Finds Chandum. Manrique. And another foul called. Late whistle there. Another free kick for the Navy on the far side.
And he got up and then quickly went back down there, so it looks like he's hurting pretty bad. Or tying his shoe. Either one.
Maybe both. Enrique banged up a little bit there. He's limping away. Julio Noel. Another opportunity to make it so that the Marine Corps do not make the gold medal match. Noel, Chandum. Bentley left foot laser. Might have been a save in there by Cambrone. We were blocked from our vantage point. It's amazing how many fouls have been called.
and Randall McDermott has to be careful there for the Marine Corps as he's already sitting on a yellow card.
Noel, Chandum, right foot ricochet right to Cambronne. Another sigh of relief for the Marine Corps. 76th minute, time running out. Their dream of getting back to the gold medal match for the first time since 1999. They lost to the Air Force. Right foot try, deflection. That was dangerous there for the Navy. That was Esquivel, who got some good power on it, but a better deflection. Navy trying to stay focused here. Esquivel, who just took the shot attempt, tried to play it out wide, but could not find Laverick Mullah.
We have a player go down there in the center of the field.
And that's Manrique, who we talked about, tying the shoe, but was also banged up.
And it looks like he may just be cramping there. But it's hard to tell. And another thing we want to highlight here for the Navy team, and we talked about it all tournament, is that this tournament, this opportunity for these men is more than just about soccer. So during training camp, the Navy team conducted a youth clinic for 50 military youth players ranging from ages 7 to 12. And this is an annual event conducted by the team and has been running since 2018. So it's really cool to see the Navy team give back there during their training camp in preparation for this tournament.
Absolutely. And these guys know too, their leadership and their voice, and it's not just all about them and what they do to serve the country. It's a big deal, and they know that. And so they're trying to use their voice to the youth, and especially in the soccer community, right? And to promote the game and grow the sport. And you've seen in America, as Enrique gets helped off, you've seen in America the last 5 to 7 years or so, even with MLS soccer, it has boomed the last 5 to 7 years. I mean, stadiums are sold out left and right. Trying to continue to grow this sport for all the youngsters out there.
And it looks like Navy here is going to make a sub.
Jaden Joseph coming on. Nando Manrique, who went down, is coming off. So when, Kristen, if not now, for the Marine Corps? We need one goal to potentially get in, depending on tiebreaker scenarios. When do the Marines go on this all-out attack? And when, if you're the Navy, do you park the bus and you park that ship back there and say, we're content with the 2-0 victory?
I don't think either team right now is going to park the bus anytime soon. There's still 10 minutes left to play. I know the Marine Corps is going to look to take advantage of this free kick opportunity right here.
Could be a chance here. Right foot, another deflection. Now a left foot trying a one-time. Wisnat trying to find a teammate. Navy still trying to clear. They do for now. McDermott trying to serve one back in. Instead plays it over to Esquivel. Esquivel off the head of Wisnat. They've been looking for the head of Wisnat all day long. That was well high and wide of the mark. And so you think the Navy should still play their style here and not park the bus in this spot?
I don't think that they need to just yet. I think they're doing a good job there on defense, and they're controlling most of the game. We haven't seen it on their side of the half for a lot of minutes, but the Marine Corps is still punching back, and they're coming back hard.
But for the Marine Corps, close to an all-out attack, right? You need a goal.
Yes, they need a goal, and with every minute that goes by, it gets harder and harder for them to score, so they need a goal as soon as possible. And we also have to keep in mind that we're going to see quite a bit of stoppage time here as well. So it may look like we just have 10 minutes left, but I know it's going to be a lot more than that.
Noel couldn't quite tiptoe the sideline and keep it in here.
The Marines need to be careful on how they react to these calls. Like we said, they have a lot of players under yellow card restrictions right now, and they need to be careful, but they are not happy again with a foul right outside the box.
This might set a record for the most whistles that I've seen in a match. And that yellow card to Wardak, I believe. He gets the yellow there. Another free kick for Julio Noel. Navy's been knocking on the door, breaking this thing open and crushing the Marines' hopes for gold. Cambrone skied in the air, somehow able to save it. He does. Kept it in play. Now Vasquez Perez trying to lead something the other way on the counter. Not too much on the touch there by Esquivel.
And we saw a lot of contact there in the box by both teams, and both teams looking at the referee to call it. But I think it's just a good 50-50 ball.
Nice play there by Cambrone. 84th minute. Air Force and Army looking on. Both of those teams, for the most part, are rooting for the Navy, and the Army knows that if this score holds, or even if the Marine Corps can get one here, the Army are in to the gold medal match. The Air Force then, if this score holds, they, of course, if they beat the Army, they are in as well, and those two will reface each other on Tuesday. Then it gets dicey for the Air Force if they don't win that match. With this score holding up, the Navy would be even on goal differential. The Air Force would also be even. So let's say a final score of 1-0 would knock the Air Force out of contention, and the Navy all of a sudden, backs against the wall, 0-2 coming in, would get to the gold medal match. So if this score stands and the Army defeat the Air Force, the Navy would be in to the gold medal match. Free kick here for the Marines. The Navy have been in the gold medal match 3 of the last 4 Armed Forces Championships. Marine Corps trying to change that with a dramatic goal here. Wisnat right foot into the back of the net. The Marine Corps have their goal. Their center back, Stephen Wisnat. Are you kidding me? 85th minute.
And it just looked like a missed clearance there by the wall, which gave Wisnat the opportunity to get to his head and get it in the back of the net. That was a great goal there by the Marines, and you saw that they grabbed the ball and immediately put it at half and said, we want more. So we're going to see them coming out strong.
Now everything's up in the air right now. So both of them now, as it stands, are tied on goal differential. Both are -1 right now on goal differential. In terms of goals for, the Navy have 3, the Marine Corps have 3, and the Navy know that they need to strike right now to put themselves in a much better chance to reach the gold medal match. Then if you want to look at goals allowed, the Navy have allowed 4, and guess what? The Marine Corps have allowed 4, as Vogren gets to it just before Gio Castro.
And you can just feel it in the air here. The crowd is going wild. There's just a lot more intensity and enjoyment here from the crowd as well.
Bentley trying to find Noel, sliding stop there, and a closeout. Noel punched away, now booted away. What defense by the Marines.
And that was good tracking back from the Marine Corps captain there, Randall McDermott, to save the goalkeeper on the end line. Just great defending.
Noel here on the near side with the corner. 2-1 Navy. Left foot, Wisnat, who just scored the goal, clears it for now. Joseph trying to play one back in. Bentley finds himself a space. Flag goes up, doesn't matter. Offside is the call.
And the Marines look to play it fast, to get it out as soon as they can, and hopefully look for number 10 there for the Marine Corps, Carlos Vasquez Perez, and get the attack going again.
88th minute. Carlos Vasquez Perez trying to find Brandon Torres here. Torres, who got pushed, and a foul is called on Grossman, who just checked in about 8 minutes ago. Now a free kick. Gio Castro and company trying to pump up this Marine Corps crowd here at Camp Pendleton. Carlos Vasquez Perez, he was the hero. He's not going to take this one, but he was the hero against the Air Force in the 113th minute of double extra time. Omar Esquivel, right foot, looking for a teammate, hits the side of the goal. Oh, what a service by Esquivel, who found Carlos Vasquez Perez with some space, and he just couldn't put it on frame.
That was a great service there, like you said. And actually here, Julio Noel for Navy is pretty disappointed. He wanted the goalkeeper there to play fast right after that opportunity, and he was wide open on the other side of the field.
Jaden Joseph the other way. Everyone trying to take some deep breaths here in the closing stages. And another foul is called. This will be a free kick for the Navy here on the near side.
And this has almost been a game of free kicks here, Alex. They just keep getting fouls right outside the box in these prime locations, and we've seen it time after time that these free kicks are going to make a difference.
Both tied on goal differential, both tied on goals for, both tied on goals against. Noel trying to bend one in off the head of Wisnat. Can the Marines lead a counter here? Torres, Carlos Vasquez Perez plays it to himself. He's got a man out wide. Closing speed there by Casace. Oh, what a defensive play there by Ian Casace.
And that was just straight speed there that we saw from Casace, who came out of nowhere to make that defense, that defensive play. And the Marine Corps is not happy there with that foul.
There's been a whistle about every 30 seconds in this match. Now another chance here for the Navy. Noel trying to get this back up to a 2-goal lead. Waiting to see this free kick. Also waiting to see how much time is going to be added on. 6 minutes. So 6 minutes of stoppage time here. Plenty of time for more chaos to occur. Noel's been the man to take a lot of these. Remember, Maney as well. They've split duties, but Maney is out of the game with an injury. Noel trying to find a teammate, cleared away. Dangerous here, and Redden understanding that Carlos Vasquez Perez has some speed. He cannot get to it. Just goes past the sideline. That'll be a Navy throw-in. Boy, it's crazy how strategy changes in a match like this, Kristen. I mean, the Marine Corps were on the all-out attack, and now, based on so many different tiebreaker possibilities, it's wild on how you think to play this. This is where Jay Renard and Rocky Ferdine get their money's worth as head coaches. Here's Chandum. He can try one here if he wants. Instead, booted past the touchline. It'll be a throw-in.
And I think both teams here are really going to do their best to prevent those free kicks outside the box, because that has been the difference maker here today. And so they're going to look to play it more safe, but also on the flip side, draw those defense in and get those free kicks as well.
Good throw in there. Kept alive, right foot. Bentley, he is offside. He is offside. That will not count. And Bentley with a little funny celebration there. He knew he was off.
He was way off there as we see another look at that play. He needs to do a better job of staying engaged and paying attention there, not to stop the game there for Navy. And we're almost halfway now in stoppage time. 3 more minutes to go. And you can hear the Marine Corps players telling each other, all we've got. All we've got. That's what they're going to give here for the last 3 minutes of the game.
So I'm looking at the tiebreaker list, the FIFA tiebreaker list. It's unbelievable how many there are. But the one that could come into play is goals scored in matches between the tied teams. That's like I'm exaggerating here, like the 14th one down the list, but I think it's like the 6th one down the list you go to find and separate the tie. So goals scored in matches between the tied teams. The Navy, who have 3 combined against the Air Force and the Marines. The Marine Corps have 2 right now. So it almost seems like if you're going by that, Kristen, the Marine Corps actually need another goal here to try and get into the gold medal match, if that's the next tiebreaker in effect.
There's so many factors here at play, and I'm not sure either team is really considering those, other than they just want to score and win and do as much as possible to make the best shot possible for them to make it to the championship game. And
I think that is going to be it. We have not had confirmation, so you can blame me if that's not the next one, but you can see Bentley with a bullet well over everything. I think the Marine Corps need to be on an all-out attack here, because the Navy have 3 goals in terms of goals scored between the tied teams. The Air Force would come into play, of course, as well. And remember, this could all be a moot point if the Air Force beat the Army later. Torres, good stop on the ball there, finding Carlos Vasquez Perez. Carlos Vasquez Perez, slid tackle, right foot try, and an equalizer! Are you kidding me? Laverick Mulla has equalized
You can never count the Marines out, and that's something we said time and time again. This home field advantage is going wild, this crowd, and you can see what this means here to the Marines, and you can never count them out of a game.
Laverick Mulla, who didn't start this game because he had a yellow, he finds the back of the net. The Navy are stunned. We are tied at 2.
And we know here that none of these games are going to end in a tie. So that means that if this stands and the ref blows his whistle, we're going to go into overtime again for golden goal.
Carlos Vasquez Perez, who may need a new hamstring at the end of all of this tournament with all the running he's done. He is getting the hamstring looked at here. Calves as well on that left leg. But Laverick Mulla, if you wanted drama here at Camp Pendleton in the 2023 Men's Soccer Armed Forces Championship, you've got it. Now there's so much more into play here. There's still time left here in regulation, although it's running out. But these scenarios keep changing because of the comeback Camp Pendleton kids. I mean, these guys just don't give up. Down 2-0 or tied up at 2. Now, the Army has to change their strategy. The Army right now is the most shocked team, I think, out of anyone besides the Navy, because the Army were a sure thing for the gold medal match. Now, if the Marines come back and either win here in regulation, win in extra time, or win in PKs, the Army could find a way now, if they lose to the Air Force, to not get in themselves to the gold medal match.
Absolutely, and you see the Army team stop their warm-ups here and come to watch the end of this game, but it's not going to be an end anytime soon if we have a tie game.
Remember, it was 90 plus 6. Player goes down. Wow, a Navy player went down, and this is a whistle going the other way. It'll be a free kick for the Marines. Yet again, Gio Castro trying to get this Camp Pendleton crowd rocking. They've been rocking since the beginning. Yeah, tug of the jersey.
It was a good call there by the referee, and that really amped up the crowd. Like you said, they're taking advantage of this home field.
Steven Wisnat, he scored the first. Trying to serve in a chance to win it if they win it here. If you thought you saw a crowd storm the field quicker than anyone you'd ever seen last match in their win against the Air Force in that upset, oh my. And that is the final whistle of regulation. The Marines are alive, tied up at 2 as we head to extra time.
I honestly can't believe it here. That was a crazy game we just watched, and we've said it, and I'll say it again, you can never count the Marines out.
Rocky Ferdine, he is hoping that these guys who just have not given up find a way to find the back of the net for a third time unanswered to win this thing. We will step aside here at Camp Pendleton. Everyone take a deep breath. Overtime when we come back here in Oceanside. back here at Camp Pendleton. Once a 2-0 game, now tied up at 2. A late equalizer, 90+5 for Laverick Mulla, and that is where we stand. Hi, everybody. To our left, there we go. Hi, everybody. Alex Gould, U.S. Air Force Captain Kristen Lynn. What a tournament it's been. I mean, these guys, you can't ever tell me, don't ever tell me, if you've watched a second, let alone any of these matches here, that these men don't care. The Marine Corps, the comeback kids have found a way here at Camp Pendleton on their home turf to equalize it to, what more could you want? All the chaos in the world.
I'm almost speechless here, as this game, it cannot get any more exciting, and we're about to see another overtime. But that toll is going to be taken because both of these teams have seen overtime already in this tournament, and we know that they can feel the fatigue already.
So Navy just subbed here. Joe Alex is in to the match. It looked like maybe Jensen Escobar was in as well for the Navy. First touch here in the first extra time frame. We are underway. As a reminder, golden goal. Whoever scores first wins. And that is the final. But nobody needs a goal now more than the Navy. The Navy, in terms of goal differential, are back to -2. The Marine Corps are back to even. So the Navy, they need to strike here and win it 3-2. And remember, we talked about the next tiebreaker. I believe the next tiebreaker, after head-to-head, goal differential, goals for, goals allowed, is goals for between the two matchups of the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marine Corps. So if the Navy get a third, they would have the most goals scored against the Air Force and the Marines. But the Marine Corps, they're trying to end it right here, right away. Randall McDermott, long throw-in, trying to score a third unanswered. Carlos Vasquez Perez going to let it go. It'll be a throw-in on the far side.
And the only thing that will get more exciting than this is if we go to PKs, in which my dad there in Draper, Utah is watching, and he just texted me he wants it to go to PKs.
So Papa Lynn wants to see PKs, and everybody else, I think the Marine Corps is looking for a potential winner here. So is the Navy. Of course, I said Papa Lynn, but Papa Lynn may be watching too, but Papa Shimkus is looking for the game winner as well in PKs to try and settle this. But right now, the Marine Corps and their crowd, they've been on their feet all match long, all tournament long. Another free kick here. About 36 yards out. Right foot, looking for the winner. Cleared away for now. You got to be careful here on the counter, especially with Noel. You can see man marking him was Victor Flores. Redden booting it down the pitch. The Marine Corps right now all out of sorts. Here's Brandon Buendia. Buendia was trying to find Noel. Could not keep it alive. And Wisnat says, yeah, let's get this thing out of here.
And that was great defending there. That could have been a dangerous 2v2 situation, but Navy's not done yet as they make it back down the field.
Chance here, Germane Doumbia out wide. Here's Jensen Escobar, deflected nicely and cleared away by Gio Castro. A lot of tension here at Camp Pendleton. I mean, we got folks pacing up and down. Nobody right now is really sitting down. No whistle. One of the first times today they play on. Good closing speed there by Chandum as Redden and Vasquez Perez collide and both hit the deck. The Marine Corps have not beaten the Navy since 2012. 2012, the last time they beat the Navy. September 30th of 2012 to be exact, and it was right here, Kristen, at Camp Pendleton. That was the last time the Marine Corps beat the Navy, 11 years ago. Right here in Oceanside.
And this is the biggest crowd I think we've had all tournament, and you can hear them here today cheering on the Marine Corps in that home field advantage.
Torres trying to throw it inside the 18. Off the head of Redden. Cleared away. The Marine Corps have the momentum. The momentum in this sport can change in a flash.
And we talked about in earlier games that 2-0 is really the most dangerous score in soccer, and the Marine Corps here proved it.
Wisnat will throw it in. Good throw in by Wisnat. Off the head of Redden. It's popped in the air. Andrew Grossman with some space. Good takeaway by McDermott. McDermott was trying to find Mulla. Player goes down for the Navy.
And McDermott needs to be careful as he is sitting on a yellow card, and that is not his first in this overtime period, so he's got to be careful as the team captain for the Marines.
And by yellow card, he does not have a yellow in this match. He picked up a yellow last match. But yeah, he would have to sit out a potential gold medal match if he picks up another one. Left foot is ricocheted by a Marine defender, so this will be a Noel corner. So goal differential, goals for, goals allowed, and then goals between the tied teams. A three-piece is a big one here if the Navy can win it 3-2. Noel, Cambrone punches it away. Wisnat's going to keep it in play, but he didn't get enough there. Kind of took a bounce.
He's not happy with that clearance there. It didn't make it that far down the field, and so the Marine Corps is staying on their heels as Navy makes it back down the field.
Here's Noel. Looked like maybe a handball, wasn't called.
I know the crowd was calling for that handball here as well.
I think they might have been right. And then a push, that was a clear foul.
They don't want these free kick opportunities here because of the golden goal situation. There's no coming back after they score a goal.
The Marine Corps played 113 plus minutes to beat the Air Force. Last match 2 days ago. Now they're trying to hold right here in the 8th minute of extra time. 98th minute of this match. Good ball by Noel. Better catch by Cambrone. Cambrone gonna lead the counter here to Mulla. Mulla's got some speed. Mulla dribbling, looking for someone. Good stop there. Still some space. Mulla, who rips one off the back of a Navy defender. Buendia was hoping that somebody was on the far flank there. Nobody was. So your dad's rooting for PKs. I think a lot of folks are rooting for PKs. But I think there's a lot of folks that don't want to see PKs.
I know two teams here that don't want it to go to PKs, as you can tell that they're very fatigued, they're tired. They want to win this and end it now.
Good poke of the ball there by Omar Esquivel, leading the break. Esquivel gets it back. Esquivel, oh, it was deflected nicely. How about Noel getting back defensively there, Kristen, to make the stand?
And that was a crucial play there by him, as it was a 3v2 opportunity for the Marine Corps, and so him tracking back was crucial there for Navy.
And it was so crucial too, because he's the one who turned it over, and instead of getting down on himself and staying down, he said, I got to find a way to get this ball back for us.
And you got to keep in mind that his legs will be a little bit more fresh than those others on his team, as he missed last game due to a red card. So he's really proven his worth here today with the goal and with getting back there for his team.
Absolutely. So we are in the 100th minute of this match. The first extra time period, golden goal. First team to score wins. Another foul. Free kick for the Marines. These teams think about this moment for a year. I mean, they sit there for 365 days and think about this moment. Carlos Vasquez Perez was the hero in the 113th minute. Second overtime frame. Last match against the Air Force. Who's going to step up for the Marines and be the hero today? Or is it going to be the Navy? On the ground, it wasn't necessarily, I think, the ball that the Marines was looking for, although it wound up finding a member of the Marine Corps. But Esquivel, I think, wants that back. Esquivel able to tiptoe the sideline, could not keep it in play, and now the Marines got to get back defensively. Navy tried to go quickly, maybe a little too quickly there. Navy with a buildup. Buendia and Wisnat wasn't taking any chances. Maybe Cambrone could have got to it, but you don't take a shot there. 101 plus minutes into this match.
But that does lead to the corner kick there for Navy, which could be a good opportunity here in the 101st minute. I know these men are all tired and they want to end it as soon as possible.
Noel trying to do just that. Remember, he came up with that key critical defensive stop moments ago. Noel trying to find a teammate. Buendia, who scored 3 last year, goes down. Carlos Vasquez Perez dispossesses him. Now Torres on the counter for the Marines. Trying to win in dramatic fashion again.
3v3 here.
Torres with a right foot, rocket over everything, and I think everyone is questioning that decision by Torres. Like you said, 3v3, right? It wasn't 1v3 where he thought maybe I got to take a chance here. Numbers were even. Could have tried to play it out. Instead, Torres elected to go for goal and go for the game winner. Mulla, who scored the equalizer, coming off the bench. What a sub it was by Rocky Ferdine. It paid off. His communication there. Wardak finds Carlos Vasquez Perez, and Carlos Vasquez Perez is arguing with the AR there, but it looked like he was well offside. Fourth minute. Right now haven't been too many stoppages, so take your pick. A 1 or a 2 is likely to be added to this first extra time period. Torres, who took the shot moments ago, trying to dribble and weave his way through a defender there. Looked like that was Kasache, and there's a scrum for the ball. It's getting physical. A couple of bodies hit the turf, and Torres was trying to put the ball on the corner flag. Instead, it's a goal kick for Vogren.
I think the referee there should have called the foul long before that goal kick. It looked like he was playing on the ground there in the corner, and that was a dangerous play there by the Marine Corps.
It's hard to stay focused when you've played with so much pace and physicality here. Grossman finds Doumbia. Doumbia trying to make a move. Doumbia crunches one off the crossbar. Was it deflected? It was not deflected by Cambron. It was deflected by the crossbar, and it saves the lives of the Marines right now. Wow. That thing clipped off the crossbar. Still waiting to see how much time is going to be added here. Wisnat boots one away. Just 1 minute, 60 seconds or so added to this first extra time frame. 105 plus 1. Here's Mulla. Got to stay focused here. Good ball by Mulla, but offside yet again. Flag goes up, and again, it looked like Kristen Amia was the right call. Carlos Vasquez-Perez just a step too much past Carissa Fison.
It's hard to tell here from this angle, but that one hurt the Marine Corps and the momentum that they had with this last few seconds left in this half.
Big time mistake there by Redden. Esquivel is trying to get it to Torres. Torres trying to get it back to Esquivel. Kasache clears. We'll see if Ulvin Oliva, the referee, is going to let him try for one more. It's caught by Vogren. And after this boot, that'll likely do it for the first extra time period, and it does. There's the whistle. 2-2. Nobody scores. 15 plus 1 into the first overtime. So guess what? For the second match in a row for the Marine Corps, they will see overtime in the second period. The Navy, this is their second match of the tournament, that they will also see a second extra time. We'll set it up here at Camp Pendleton when we come back. Back here at Camp Pendleton, second overtime between the Navy and the Marine Corps. All right, partner. 106th minute. Remember, last match took 113 plus minutes before Carlos Vasquez Perez played the role of the hero. Goal he'll never forget. But they want more. Speaking of Carlos Vasquez Perez, he goes down. This will be a free kick for the Marine Corps. And yet again, Gio Castro pumping up the crowd to try and get them as loud as can be here for the final 15 minutes. One more reminder, golden goal. If the Marine Corps score here, it's over. If the Navy score on a counter, it's over. The Navy cannot afford to have this go to PKs. They will not get into the gold medal match if this goes to PKs. So they have to win it here in the final 15. Marine Corps trying to win it into the back of the net, and there it is! Are you kidding me? Omar Esquivel wins it for the Marine Corps. They could be looking for gold. For Rocky Ferdinand, he had his signature win against the Air Force in the 116th minute, this time in the 107th minute on a free kick that was almost outside of Camp Pendleton. Omar Esquivel wins it for the Marine Corps once down 2-0 with about 8 minutes to play. Captain Lynn, they score once by Wisnat, they score twice by Mulla in 90 plus 5, and nobody touched it there. That was just a straight up goal by Esquivel, and the Marine Corps win it. Are you kidding me?
Wow, we could not have written this any better. What an ending here for today's game. Both teams battled back, and like I said before, you never can count the Marine Corps out. So we love to see the energy. We love to see the crowd participation in that celebration. And we can see how much it means to this home field, this win for the Marine Corps.
We're going to get you an updated tail of the tape in a moment. But oh my goodness. Maybe it deflected off of a teammate, but I don't think it did. I think that just bent into the back of the net.
It didn't look like anybody touched it there. Wow.
Unbelievable. So we're going to get you an updated tail of the tape before we sign off. Approximately 30 minutes from now, we'll see the Army and the Air Force. And that game now has so many different factors going into it. At one point, in about the 80th minute or so, it was 2-0 in favor of the Navy. And the Army is sitting there going, listen, we're into the gold medal match. We don't have to worry about this thing. Let's go warm up and get ready to go. The Air Force, of course, then thinking, listen, all we got to do here is beat the Army and we're in. As you take a look at a different angle here. Actually might have went off the back of a Navy defender there, Captain. And that was close. But regardless, what a goal for the Marine Corps. And Omar Esquivel, the corporal out of Lake Forest, California. He's stationed over at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. And, you know, they're partying over in North Carolina. So you see right here, okay, the Marine Corps now improve to 2-1. Their goal differential is +1 after, I'm telling you, about 30 minutes ago, it was -2 and they were out. No chance to get to the gold medal match. Then, now you see the Navy drops to 0-3. They are officially eliminated. They will play in that consolation match on Tuesday. But you take a look at the screen here, Kristen. The Army are 2-0. Their goal differential, of course, is +2. But wait a minute. Now you get into some crazy waters here. And I'm trying to do the math right now in my head while I'm looking at this, because nobody was prepared for this in about the 80th minute or so. And then 90 plus 5. The Air Force, let's give hypotheticals here real quick. Okay, let's say the Army wins. Of course, if the Army wins, it's as simple as that. The Army is into the gold medal match. They will play the Marines. So the Marines the biggest fans of all time of the Army in this match coming up. They do not want to see the Air Force win this match, okay? But if you take a look, let's say the Air Force here wins 1-0. Let's just give that random example that the Air Force beat the Army 1-0, okay? The Air Force would also go up to +1. The Army would drop to +1. Okay, so everyone would be +1 on the goal differential in terms of the standings. I know I'm hurting your brain here, Krista, but we got to try and explain it the best we can. Then you take a look at goals for, right? I believe that is the next tiebreaker is goals for. So if the Air Force winds up winning 1-0 against the Army, the Air Force would have 3 goals for, the Army would have 3 goals for, and guess what? The Marines in a situation like this would get in to the gold medal match. And I actually think the more you look at it here, I think the Marines may be in regardless here. It's going to be tough. I'm trying to do the math here. So obviously the Marines are in if the Army wins. If the Army wins, they're in. If the Air Force wins, I'm trying to see if it was like a 3-2 final maybe, like a 3-2 final, the Marines could potentially get knocked out if the Air Force wins, because then everyone would be at 5 on goals for, and then you would have to do the tiebreaker. And this is why, listen, folks, they pay us to talk about the games and have statisticians figure this out, but we're trying to here. But obviously we'll give you the scenarios in that second matchup with the Marines right now because of goals for more than anything. And if the Army wins, have put themselves in the best chance since 1999 to reach the gold medal match. Remember, they have not won the gold medal since 1998. They honored the 98 team in the opening ceremonies, who have been going crazy all tournament long. So we know one thing, and that's it. We only know one thing. The Navy will not play in the gold medal match. The other 3 up for grabs. The Marines, one of the best comebacks you'll ever see in Armed Forces Championship history. Any final thoughts?
We just keep in mind this next game will start in approximately 26 minutes, so it will not start on time due to the overtime of the last game.
Carlos Vasquez Perez, listen, all these men are heroes for what they do for our country, but Carlos Vasquez Perez with the game winner in the 113th last match against the Air Force. It was Omar Esquivel on the set piece, a free kick he will remember forever. The Marine Corps beat the Navy 3-2 with a great chance to get to the gold medal match. It's Army versus the Air Force for a chance to potentially join them in approximately 26 minutes. We'll see you there.